Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
We are tracking Hurricane Florence as it pounds the Carolinas. This is a live look from North Carolina. You can see the damage that thing has done. It's making landfall with torrential rain and packing high winds. Floodwaters now inundating communities. We will take a look at the latest coming up in just a minute.
Meanwhile, here in the Alamo City, a gloomy, cloudy day. Rain is on the horizon. Some of you have already gotten some. We head into the weekend. You can expect some isolated showers as well.
Also here at home, a man killed in a crash on the south side after hitting a police cruiser and then crashing into a utility pole. Now, one person who witnessed the scene is explaining what actually happened and why the victim may have been traveling at a fast speed. But first, we're going to talk about that weather out on the East Coast. Hurricane Florence finally made landfall, and she came in with a roar.
She did, and we are waiting for more rain. Meteorologist Justin Horn in with a quick check on our forecast.
Yeah, we've got some showers out there right now. Most of these are pretty light, but we've seen on transguides some wet roadways, so expect that we'll see some of these passing showers over the next couple of hours. And as we get into the afternoon, the radar should become a little bit more active. We got some deep tropical moisture starting to work into the area. And we can see the heavier rain down along the coast, and that is that moisture that is building down there. It will be moving off to the west. And so we do have a flash flood watch in effect. That goes until tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. And the main reason this watch is in effect is because we have saturated soils. And we're expecting more rain with these downpours that could cause some flash flooding at times. So we have to be careful with that. Our forecast for today, about a 70% chance of rain as we get into this afternoon and this evening. High temperatures only in the low 80s because of the cloud cover and because of that potential for rain. And there's a look at Florence. There it goes. It's a huge storm, made landfall earlier this morning, still producing a ton of rain. And it was a disastrous landfall on the North Carolina coast. Dangerous floodwaters now inundating communities. Heavy wind and rains knocking out power for hundreds of thousands. The storm delivering torrential rainfall and ferocious winds topping 105 miles per hour, although it's starting to weaken some. In New Bern, North Carolina, waves reaching first floor windows, prompting emergency situations. Federal officials say the storm surge will present the biggest challenge it already has, and they'll spend days working to clean a lot of that mess up.
We're focused really on safety and security and rescue missions. We have over, I think it's close to 1,300 search and rescue assets, people and assets on the ground and from South Carolina to the District of Columbia.
The number of homes losing power rising, and they could be in the dark for weeks. The developing concern now is high tide that will continue to push water into communities and cause dangerous flooding. Guys.
Thank you so much, Justin. Meantime, we have some new information about a deadly overnight crash on the south side. The driver has been identified as 31-year-old Jonathan Paul Smith. And authorities say he was speeding when he hit a police unit, causing the cruiser to hit a utility pole. That pole then led to the fatal crash of Smith. It happened near Tupper Avenue and West South Cross Boulevard at around 11:15 last night. KSAT 12's Max Massey found out the man behind the wheel who caused the accident was actually driving away from a hit and run.
I was asleep. I heard like a loud bang.
Desiree Yanez woke up to a crash last night only feet from her front door.
My aunt's car that hit my truck and went on top of the curb. So she said as soon as she ran to the gate, she saw a big 4x4 truck flee the scene.
This was the condition her and her aunt's car were left in, but the damage didn't end on Desiree Street. It got much worse about 3 blocks down the road. Police say the driver of that Ford pickup didn't stop at the stop sign, actually hit a police cruiser, causing it to spin out. If you take a look behind me, you can see some of the damage still here at the grass. And earlier this morning, there was shattered glass on the road and on the sidewalk. And then looking up, you can see CPS is still on the scene. They've actually been working throughout the day, fixing that utility pole where the police cruiser ended up. As for the driver of that pickup, he ended up hitting the tree behind the pole, and the medical examiner has confirmed that it was Jonathan Paul Smith behind the wheel. The police officer who was hit was treated for minor injuries, and the driver who caused the crash died on the way to the hospital. This was a scary situation, but with small children, Desiree says it could have been much worse.
Thank God nothing happened to my family as well, because my kids are always coming back and forth from my aunt's house to my house, and it's just thank God that nothing happened to my family.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Another crash on the southeast side left 2 women injured, with the driver becoming trapped inside the vehicle. It happened in the 3400 block of East South Cross just before 1 o'clock this morning. Police think the driver had some kind of a medical episode before the crash. The female driver ended up getting pinned by the dashboard, and crews had to roll it back to get her out. Both women were hospitalized. They are expected to be okay.
Leon Valley officers investigating a shooting victim that was found in the street by Leon Valley residents late last night. He was discovered in the 5400 block of Prentice Drive near Wurzbach Road. KSAT 12's Sarah Acosta spoke with the neighbor who found the victim in front of his home.
I saw this young man on the middle of the street, thought he was probably drunk.
Rudy Trevino tells us he just happened to be taking out his trash at 10 last night when he saw the man staggering in the street, who then fell on his driveway.
My son was out here trying to help me. He's the one that actually was holding him.
Trevino says this all happening around 10 o'clock. He called 911, letting them know they found a man with a gunshot wound to the chest.
My son told him he probably had been shot because he had a little blood on his shirt.
The man, who police say was in his 20s, was taken to University Hospital in critical condition. But in front of Trevino's house on Prentice Drive is not where Leon Valley police believe the man was shot. It's here, about 1 mile away, on Evers and Forest Moss. That police found several bullet shell casings that they believe are related to this crime. They are trying to figure out how he got to Prentice Drive and don't know if he walked or was dropped off. As for Trevino, he says the events of Thursday night were dramatic and rare for the quiet neighborhood.
We never had shootings out here, you know. It is quite a quiet neighborhood.
Police say they are still looking for suspects and trying to figure out what led up to this shooting. Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
You might remember a disturbing case of animal cruelty. More than 500 snakes and rodents removed from a home last week. Now a hearing is being held to determine where those animals should go. Animal Care Services found the reptiles and rodents at a home on Caton near Rigsby on the southeast side. ACS says the seizure was the largest the department has ever seen. Those animals found in deplorable conditions with no water. Their enclosures were filthy. Several efforts were made to take the feeder mice, rats, and snakes. Animal Care Services finally received a warrant to do so. Animal cruelty charges are currently pending against the owner of the property. Jessie Degollado is at that hearing. She's going to have an update in our later newscasts.
Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort in court today. He pled guilty to 2 federal crimes as part of a plea deal that will require him to cooperate with the special counsel's Russia probe. The deal will keep him from having to go through a second criminal trial that was scheduled to start later this month in Washington. Last month, Manafort was convicted on 8 financial crimes in a separate trial in Virginia. Manafort pleaded guilty to charges related to his Ukrainian political consulting work today. The White House also said today the Manafort case has nothing to do with Trump. Despite the weather, this weekend of high school football got off to a pretty good start last night. Larry Mears with champion MacArthur highlights coming up.
And a series of explosions rocking 3 small towns in Massachusetts. The number of deaths reported and what led to the round of blasts that has communities on edge.
For all of your allergy needs, visit Billy Allergy and Asthma Specialist at KSAT.com's Health and Wellness page.
Wainwright Injury Lawyers, winning clients the most money possible.
My legs were broken in a motorcycle accident. Wainwright got me $189,477.
Call Power Lawyer Wainwright, 888-8888.
I found the perfect car at a great price.
Zero hassles, zero stress. Just shopping made easy.
World Car Hyundai is the place.
Get a new 2018 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $14,500 or a Hyundai Tucson SE for only $19,500 and receive this.
I have a lifetime warranty. I have lifetime roadside assistance too.
Shop online at World Car Hyundai North or stop on in.
You can't beat a lifetime warranty. That's like forever.
World Car, for a lifetime.
I'm Ted Cruz and I approve this message. Does Beto O'Rourke think refusing to stand for the national anthem is disrespectful?
No, I don't think it's disrespectful. And I can think of nothing more American than to peacefully stand up or take a knee.
Texan Tim Lee stepped on a landmine in Vietnam.
I gave 2 legs to this country. I'm not able to stand, but I sure expect you to stand for me when that national anthem is being played.
In November, where will you stand?
Wainwright Injury Lawyers, winning clients the most money possible.
My car was rear-ended and totaled. I had back pain and I needed neck surgery. And Wainwright got me $119,420 in my pocket.
Call Power Lawyer Wainwright, 888-8888.
A Fort Worth police officer is in critical condition, fighting for his life after being shot while confronting robbery suspects, forcing police to kill that gunman. Police said the officer was conducting surveillance on 3 robbery suspects at a bar. They said the suspects robbed the bar, and that's when the officer confronted them. The suspects took off running when one of the robbers fired a shot, hitting the officer in the head. Another officer returned fire, killing the suspect. Other officers caught and arrested the 2 other robbers.
A series of natural gas explosions in the suburbs of Boston, setting fire to dozens of homes and killing 1 person and injuring at least 10 others. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the explosions from late last night. They ignited fires in at least 39 homes in Massachusetts towns of Lawrence and over to North Andover. More than 8,000 people were forced to evacuate as the crews scrambled to fight these flames and shut off the gas and electricity. Many have been cleared to go back inside as officials try to reassure evacuated residents that they are safe.
We've brought in and will continue to bring in hundreds of natural gas technicians to the affected areas. These technicians will deploy throughout the neighborhoods to do the work they need to do, house by house, to ensure that each building is safe to return to.
According to the state fire marshal, a surge in the gas main seems to be the cause of all of this. Only 1 person was killed, an 18-year-old teen who died after a chimney from one of those explosions fell on top of his car.
A live look outside with live cam. We know they're having a big problem out there on the East Coast with Florence, but hey, we've got our own little situation here in San Antonio we've got to kind of be concerned about this weekend.
There's going to be some pockets of heavier rain. You just saw the live cam there. We're seeing some sun popping out too. So the sun, we get a little more instability. We'll get these pop-up showers that will produce some quick heavy rain that may cause some flooding, at least localized flooding in spots. And we've gotten plenty of rain over the last week or so, right? We're up to 24.2 or up 24.2 feet with the aquifer since Labor Day. And it's still going up. In the pollen count, we have high counts of mold and fall elm ragweeds in the low category. We're going to talk more about the potential for some heavy rainfall coming up.